It's just so much heavier than I thought. I'm loving that surprise. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Analog is from Strung Out's fifth studio album, Exile in Oblivion, released in 2004, yet another Fat Records release. Now, out of all the bands I've been wanting to circle back to lately, Strung Out have been really high up on that list. Not only were the late Jim Cherry's bass parts very unique within a heavier two-guitar lineup, but the riffs were just killer and right up my alley. But many of you have been urging me to move forward in their catalog to hear the work of bassist Chris Aiken, who joined the lineup in 1999 and is still with them today. So without further ado, I'm hearing Analog by Strung Out. Let's get to it. Whoa, that's heavy. Okay, only Strung Out track I've heard yet is Firecracker. And yeah, it had great guitars and was kind of heavy, but this is kind of brutal in comparison. A little bit of a lower tuning maybe, just a bit more aggressive. Wow, okay. That also jump scared the hell out of me, that little few second intro. Let me hear it again. We'll go through it. Okay. Nice little bass lead in. What was that? Sounds like we're kind of in C minor, E flat, somewhere in there. Maybe even F minor. That riff was kind of hard to hear what the root note was. It was going really fast, but... Okay, F. All right. Whoa. Yeah, I just didn't expect it to be this heavy. Again, you can only know so much about a band hearing one song. It's a big part of why I was intrigued to circle back. A lot of these bands on the channel, I've just heard one song. Like 6 months have gone by, so I've been meaning to get back to them. Didn't know they would get this heavy. This is great. Great vocals, even gets a bit harsh. But I don't want to miss some of this bass stuff kind of happening. Let's see. That's kind of cool. You know, this little guitar lead happened here. I don't know what you really call this kind of lead. I mean, notes are being played, but it's just got kind of this noisy kind of inflection. Adds a bit of energy to everything. Right here. Do get like feedback, you know, harmonic. It kind of reminded me of what was going on in the intro. That thing kind of reminded me of that because that's a cool texture contrasting against the other lead. What I like is that the bass was kind of going in unison with that little noisier lead here. Cool little effect to bring it back in. Let me see if I can catch that. Right here. Just nice. Let's see. Cool. Okay, first shot I could really see the right hand pick. Wasn't sure. Sometimes when it's super heavy, you just never know. I can also see it's a jazz bass, which sound great in heavier music, much better than a P bass, in my opinion. They just kind of cut through with a bit more snarl, but it's still a real warm, kind of all-encompassing tone, because there's a lot going on with both guitar parts. And the one thing I remember from Firecracker reviewing Strung Out many months ago is that I just like that both guitar parts rarely ever played the same thing. And I know at some points in here they're in unison, but they really kind of milked the idea that two guitar players can play independent parts, still kind of be hard panned left and right, and just gives a really big width to their sound. And that's nothing groundbreaking. Bands do this all the time, but sometimes you hear bands with two guitars and you're like, I didn't know there was two. And I can always hear that there are two, so I really like that about them. It's kind of what I said in the intro, that the riffs and everything were right up my alley. Cool. That vocal stuff right there is really great. I mean, it's doubled. Of course, this is a studio recording, but it just sounds massive. I don't even really remember what the vocals sounded like thinking back to the track I've heard. So this doesn't sound like them. And that's cool. I mean, this is a bit later. All this stuff. Whoa! It's just so much heavier than I thought. I'm loving that surprise. You gotta hear that, like tremolo picked almost. Yeah, like a harata, digga-dun-dun, digga-dun-dun. That kind of stuff going on here. It sounded like the bass was joining in right up with it. Yeah, that little tritone in there, but cool way to just, that could have just been an empty rest, but that just put a little tension, kind of like grabbed me back into the piece, and then they got really fast. That's fun. All right, let's hear this really fast part. I just want to hear it again because it's so fast. I can't pick that fast with a pick. Not much of a pick player, even fingers. You might have to double thump that or something. Cool. Woo! How cool. One thing I'm going to say too is that I feel like the last several videos, I've brought up this Andalusian cadence so many times. They're not doing it here. It's kind of refreshing because it has all the ingredients to be there. Because it's we're in F minor, and they're going down 6/7. But I don't think I've heard them land on the C major, because then I would give it this sound. That would be Andalusian, but they're actually going to the B flat, kind of skipping over it. So it kind of pulled my ear into thinking it was going to be another one of those, and it's not, because I'm tired of talking about them. But they sound good, so I'm going to keep talking about them. All right, let's ride this out. This is fun, just way different than what I thought it was going to be. And that's okay. I'm here for it. Well, okay then. This is one of those classic scenarios where I'm coming back to a band to hear the second song ever, and it sounds nothing like I remember the first song I reviewed sounding. Um, wow, just didn't expect it to be so technical and heavy. I mean, just almost brutal in some places, musically. Great vocals. Chris Aiken was keeping up, pummeling along. The bass was actually mixed very well. I could hear the tone, but even in these really heavy, dense arrangements and mixes, sometimes just any little nuanced stuff a bass player does just naturally gets lost when it's heavy. So I'm sure there's more things back there that I couldn't quite unearth, but I've heard so much about Chris and his abilities, and I can't wait to hear more of his work. And, you know, everyone on Patreon, our community over there is just always talking about Strung Out. So I've been wanting to get back to this band, and that's been Analog. I'm pumped to hear more. I think this is another band that's going to be right up my alley. Their riff writing styles are just really creative, and I just love the kind of the harsh vocals. I don't remember that in Firecracker, but nonetheless, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. If you'd like to support this channel further, come find us on Patreon. I do full albums over there. Definitely putting this one on a poll. And if you enjoyed this, please make sure you're subscribed. Once again, I love you all, and we will see you in the next one.